Hey everyone, my name's Rob, and today we're going to talk about my 5 favorite plants from the month of May. So if you've seen my previous videos, welcome back, and if you're new here, I've just moved to Canada from Australia and I'm starting my plant collection again. And obviously there's going to be growth updates, and this is what we're covering today. So I thought it would be nice at the start of every month to kind of just cover my favorite plants from the month before. Anyone who's collected plants knows that your favorites change month to month, sometimes week to week, sometimes day to day. So I just thought this would be a really nice way to track my growth updates without having to do a 2-hour long video because I have a lot of plants. Alright, so let's get started. So the first plant is my Philodendron L Choco Red. If you've seen my first video, you know that this is kind of a rescue plant. It's a bit of a funny story. The person who sold it to me bought it for about $100, didn't realize it was a bottom cutting and wasn't happy with it, and decided to sell it to me. A few days before we were going to do the exchange, she said that it had kind of just taken a bit of a tumble and she didn't know why. And so she sold it to me for $50, which is actually a really good deal, especially since now it's got two growth points going, if you can see there, which is really cool because normally it's just one like long stem with petioles coming off it. So now I'm hoping it'll grow and have 2 stems with growth coming from both sides. So then I'll have a fuller plant. I've been trying to get it to root onto a moss pole, but I've been doing my research and apparently it's really hard to get it to root anyway. So I'm very happy for it to just kind of use the moss pole as a bit of guidance. So I might just stake it instead of using a moss pole. But I'm really excited for this one because it started off looking real miserable, and if you'd seen pictures of it when I first got it, if I have pictures, I'll put it up somewhere here. It looked like it was in bad shape, like it was underwatered. I think it had too much sun, so this whole thing was crisping up. It stopped, it's stabilized now, and it had nothing coming from it. But now there's 2 new growth points, and I'm super excited. I gave it a lot of humidity to start off with. I put it in like a big plastic paper, see-through plastic bag, and it started getting those growth points, and that's when I decided to take it out because I didn't want to leave it in that bag for too long because that's how you get bacterial and fungal problems if you have too much humidity and no airflow. So I took it out. My plant room / office sits at about 65% humidity most of the time anyway, so it's gonna be happy anyway. I'm so excited for this one. I think this is going to be one of my favorites for a long time. It doesn't look pretty, but to me it's one of my favorites. It's very weird. But I'm so excited for this to grow some new leaves. And it might take months, but I don't care. So this is Opuntia Microdaisis white. Yes, I got it right. I have never really owned cacti or many succulents, mainly because at my old place back in Sydney, Australia, I didn't get direct sun. I actually had really poor light, so my whole setup, I think I have pictures of it, I might put it up here. My whole setup was just grow lights, a humidifier, and a fan. So I didn't keep plants that needed a lot of light, and if any of them did, they didn't do very well. They didn't thrive. They survived. They didn't thrive. So I ended up giving them away. Like all my Hoyas, I ended up giving away. But my window faces southwest, so anything on the windowsill needs to be able to take full sun. So I decided to get a little bit of a succulent cacti collection going, and this is one that I really, really just saw online and I really wanted. I know cacti are meant to be slow growing, but this one's actually growing really quick. So I will put a picture of it up here of when I first got it. I put it on Instagram when I first got it. And it had these little growths on it. And it's gotten these little growths are all new. I think these 2 are new. That one's new and I think that's new. That was already there, but that's quite chubby already. And it is just so cute. It's just such a cute cactus. I love touching it, even though I know you're not meant to touch cacti because ouch, apparently, but this one has soft bristles or needles or whatever you want to call them. So it's like a little fuzzy cactus, and I love it. And it's, oh, I think it needs some water, actually. This is why I don't keep succulents, because I forget to water them. But, yeah, this is going to need some water today, actually. It's a bit floppy and it's not happy. But I got this from a, like, succulent store in Quebec, Cactus En Ligne. And yeah, they arrived in great soil. So the thing with cacti is sometimes you and succulents, sometimes you get them and they're in like this really dense, peaty kind of mix, and they don't like it. But that's what they grow in. And this one was in a really good quality soil. I don't have to repot it for a while, and you don't really have to repot cacti very often. And you know, it arrived real quick, packaged really well. I got a bunch of stuff. They actually sent me a wrong plant and ended up letting me keep that one and then sending me the right plant. So they were great. I would order from them again. I look at their website every week to see if there's any cacti that I could buy from them, because I have space on my windowsill for it. But this is one that sits right in front of me as I do my work or I study at my desk, and I absolutely love looking at it because every time I come back, it's got it's grown a little bit. So I guess cacti are not always slow growers. I guess if you give them the right conditions, they grow not quick, but moderately well, I guess. I'm really happy with this one. I think it's so adorable, and I have friends back home that would kill to have one of these, and I sent it to one of my friends. Hi, Sego. And she thought it was absolutely adorable. I hope she can find one, actually, because she would love this. So that is Opuntia Microdaisis. Wait. This is my Philodendron flor. Why do I keep saying that? This is my Philodendron Gloriosum, and anyone who's seen one of my, I think it's my top watched video, house plants that I'm currently killing. I do have another Gloriosum that I originally got when I first moved here that is struggling. It was struggling. It's doing better now. It's grown new roots. It's got a new leaf coming out. It's still in its rehab phase. I'm unwilling to take it out of its, glass of water. But I did get a second one the same time that I got this one, the previous one, just like a week apart. Because I'm addicted to Gloriosums. I just want them all the time. And this one was fuller because there was a discount code, so I bought it anyway. So it ended up being the same price as the smaller one. And I'm so happy with this one. So I got this from Canadian Rare Plant Store. Something's wrong with my tongue today. I can't say things right. I got this from Canadian Rare Plant Store, and everything I've gotten from them has just thrived immediately, like no problems. This new leaf, there's a little bit of a rip in it because I think it was emerging in the mail, although they did 1 day shipping, so it was quick. And I repotted it about 2 weeks after receiving it, and it's into this long planter because it will crawl along the surface and shoot up new leaves as it goes, and I want it to do that so I can propagate it. And it's just thrived ever since I got it. It's had no problems. It came in a really good mix, I have to say. They send their stuff in great soil mixes. The soil is like chunky and I'm getting a little bit too happy thinking about it. Anyway, and it's already got a new growth point coming out, so I'm really happy with that. It's got that new growth point there. His name's Gus. And I gush about Gloriosums all the time. They look so good. This is meant to be the dark form, so this leaf is rounder, and I really hope it gets rounder actually. But this is the dark form, so they have like really white veining and then really dark velvety leaves. It is such a sturdy plant. It had such a good root system. I'm not kidding. Normally if you get a Gloriosum and you pot it up for the first time, you need to put a stake in it to keep it up. This one just stayed there. Like, it was that solid. It was great. And I'm so happy with this one. This one sits, I think you would have seen it in the previous shot, but right over there next to my little pineapple. And I stare at it every day. I check my plants every day anyway, so but this one is just one of the strong, steady ones. They're slow growers though, Gloriosums. I find most crawlers... Oh, my phone keeps ringing. I find most crawlers tend to grow slowly anyway. So, mainly because I think they just need to be really stable with their roots. But this is just... I love it. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait for this to get bigger. I hope it gets bigger because that would be awesome. And I'm also thinking about using like, because this is plastic, so I think it could, about using like the command Velcro strips to kind of like put it on a wall. Like maybe I could put it like right next to that staghorn right there, over there. I don't know. If you guys think that's a good idea, I mean, it might fall, but like, I mean, I don't think it will. If I put like 10 of them, why not, right? This is also a really good pot because I can water it and the water drips to the bottom and I can leave the water in there. It doesn't touch the drainage part of the pot, so the roots get really good humidity after watering, which is really good as well. So that is my thriving Philodendron Gloriosum. So there might be a little bit of water spillage with this one because it's in a semi-hydro setup, but this, I think, is gonna like get used to this being on lists. It's like best of lists and favorites lists because this is amazing. This is my Alocasia Macariser variegated form. I love this thing. It puts out new growth every 2 weeks, which is really good for a variegated plant because they have less chlorophyll, so they get less energy. And I bought this from Secret Garden, which I go to all the time. I haven't been recently because I've been trying to pull back on buying because I've bought a lot of plants. As you can see, if you've seen my first video, you would see that the collection behind me has expanded quite quickly. And this girl, I call it Alice, has just, ever since I got it, the next day it put out a new leaf, which was this one. And then a couple weeks later, I put this one out. And now, I'm not kidding, yesterday I checked it in the morning and there was no new growth. And then yesterday evening, I came back into my room and there was this growth. Like, just water everywhere. Let's hope I didn't break it, but... Okay. I told you there was going to be water somewhere. Yeah, it put out this new growth here, like, within a day. So there was nothing there, and then suddenly in the evening that was there. It's just such a city grower. I love this thing. I was so hesitant to get it when I was in the store and I was buying it from Lori. I was like, oh, I don't know. And she said, don't worry, this thing's adapted really well. It can drop to 40% humidity and be fine. And she is right. This thing, like, I honestly, like, I'm gonna have to find some new pon because I've refused to use pon that's made from anyone but Lechuza because I tried that recently and like I bought someone else's pon mix because I'm lazy to make my own and I couldn't be bothered to look for the ingredients, and a bunch of stuff that I got, it just got root rot and I had to, like, you know, chop the old roots off and clean it up and repot them, and that's why I've gone back to using potting mix. And this guy, this girl, whatever you want to call it, is just gorgeous. It loves the pon. It's a semi-hydro plant. It was grown semi-hydroponically from a corm, and it's so happy at the moment. I just put it right at my southeast facing window over there, and yeah, it gets some morning light, and it's like, I mean, like, this speaks for itself, right? Like, okay, so let's just look at this is the original leaf that it came with, if I'm not wrong. No, this is the original leaf, sorry. This is the original leaf, okay? Gorgeous. And then the second leaf, it was sitting right in the window, and so I think it got too much light. I don't like how little green there is, because if there's too much white, the plant can't really sustain itself. So I pulled it off of there, and it gave me kind of what I wanted with this one, which is a bit more green. Look at the ears on that thing. Oh my god. Okay, that. And now I don't, like, I'm not going to touch this, but that one, I think, I don't know, like, I'm hoping there's a little bit more green compared to that one. Just a little bit. I want 50-50, basically. But yeah, I'm so happy with this thing. And Lori, any plant I've gotten from her, like, I honestly don't have to look after it. It just does its own thing because she sells stuff with really great root systems. So, yeah, this one had ridiculous roots when I got it. I'm so happy with this. I can stare at this all day. This will be on a lot of lists. Like, best grower lists, favorites lists for the month, easiest plant lists, most beautiful, like, it's going to be on every list that I make ever. This is the moment. She is the moment. But yeah, oh, I got water again on my keyboard. So we have one more plant on the list, but I had one more thing that's not a plant that I wanted to mention, so it's an honorable mention, and that is the potting mix that I've been using. Now, I used to make my own potting mix back in Australia, but I'm just very lazy. Oh, hi. Can you, yeah, like, for a second, just, I'm gonna keep talking. So I'm just gonna keep talking. The honorable mention is the potting mix that I've been using. So I normally used to make my own in Australia, but I don't like doing that kind of stuff because it's just a lot of stuff that I have to get. I don't like, then I waste space on storage. And Archie, you need to move. Can you, yeah, just, there you go, onto the plant shelf. So he has a cat shelf over there that he sits on, and I'm just trying to get him onto it so that he's out of the way. But anyway, I don't like to waste space on supplies, and he's back, and yeah, okay, hi. Yeah. Archibald. Okay, let's keep talking. Yeah, I don't like to waste space on supplies because the more stuff I put... Archie! Sorry, he just almost toppled all my cacti off this windowsill, so had a bit of a panic attack because I really don't want to clear everything up. Anyway, what was I saying? And so I did some research on potting mixes, and if anyone's... I know people sell Aroid mixes, so I was looking into that. And I found Molly's Aroid mix, and it is basically the kind of mix I would make myself. It is so airy, so chunky. When you water it, the water goes straight through. It, it dries within 5 to 7 days, depending on the size of the pot. On bigger pots, it tends to take a bit longer, so maybe 14 days. But I absolutely love it. And the thing I love about it is I've done a sneaky and checked plants. And the soil at the bottom doesn't get mucky, which is is the worst thing when it comes to plants. I hate it when that happens because the roots will grow into it and then they just get root rot. It stays really nice and kind of like airy. I love it. It's great. So I'm going to put a picture of it over here and a link to it in the description below because it's excellent. I absolutely love it. Everything I put into it has grown new leaves. Not new leaves. New roots that I can see through their pots. So, get it. It's great. So, my last favorite one for the month of May is my Melanochrysum. Philodendron Melanochrysum. I love this thing. It hasn't skipped a beat ever since I put it into pond. It's one of the first... not one of the first. One of the plants I bought before my move to Guelph. But that's when I had maybe 15 plants, and I absolutely love this thing. It's great. I put it in pond straight away when I got it, which I know a lot of people say not to do, let it adapt. Whatevs. This one did not miss a beat. I cut off the bottom leaves. You would have seen it in the initial video of mine. I did cut off the bottom leaves because it was touching the pot and didn't like it, and it was getting damaged, and it just got rid of it. But it's grown so much. I put it on a pole and it started rooting into it. I didn't realize, but everyone's saying that in Canada you end up getting grass growing out of your sphagnum, and that's what's happening over here. I've just seen it. It's so funny. Oh, yeah. So every moss pole that I have that's like this has started growing grass out of it. But anyway, It's rooting in there. There's 2 plants in the pot. It's really funny. I thought it would start getting longer leaves. I've been fertilizing the pole as well. But instead of longer leaves, it's getting chubbier leaves, which I think is really funny. So it recently put out this chubby leaf here. That one, which I think is just so adorable because, like, it's just so cute. Look at that leaf. It's so adorable. And then it's also putting out another chubby leaf there, and I'm like, I want the long leaves. I want the length in the leaf, not the, you know, I want the length, not the girth. But, you know, and it also has this, like, wonky leaf over here, which is really funny. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's a little bit, like, uneven and wonky. I absolutely love this thing. It's just, it sits in the southeast facing window. It gets morning light. It's just always putting out new growth. This thing makes me so happy when I look at it. It's the first thing I can see when I come into my office, and it's just so adorable. Like, this thing is just so cute. Like, I mean, it's called May Favorites, so I'm gonna be, like, really, you know, attached to these plants. But, oh, this thing. And in Australia, I found my Melanochrysum really hard to grow. Maybe because I bought it from a cutting and it wasn't really well rooted, and when I got it, there was a little bit of rot on the roots, so I had to reroot it again. It grew a new leaf, but then didn't really do anything after that. This thing, as an established plant, has just grown so well and so easily. Loves the pon. So if you can get your hands on a good quality pon, which I haven't been able to, do that. But I'm not going to convert it back to soil, obviously, but this thing, if you can get your hands on a healthy Melanochrysum, do it, because it will bring you so much joy. It's amazing. The leaves change color, they grow and they keep growing as they come out. I think it's one of the best plants you can ever own. So do yourself a favor and get one of these if you can, because they're now pretty affordable. So there's that. So those were my 5 favorite plants for the month of May, plus a little extra there for you, which was not a plant, so not cheating. If you liked my video, like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram as well, and I'll see you next time.